So I definitely do not believe that the text is historically accurate, above all because it was unmasked as a forgery pretty soon after it was published. There were some problems in Nanovich's story about the discovery of the manuscript. So, for example, he claims that fell off his horse, broke his leg, and the lamas there took him in. But some independent investigators turned out that Nanovich had indeed had an accident, but it had more to do with his tooth. I think he had some kind of toothache and was treated for that in a hospital in Leh. So yeah, okay, he was in the area and he was, treated for a toothache of some kind, but it doesn't look like he ever fell off his horse. And these same, investigators went to the monastery. They had no recollection of him ever being there. And as already mentioned, no manuscript was ever found. And then also there are, some problems within the life of Isa itself. So for example, the name Issa, was thought to be derived from the Arabic Isa. And that name does not appear until the advent of Islam in the 7th century. So okay, that's a problem. This name doesn't even come about till centuries later, not around in the 1st century. Another one is that Jesus supposedly goes to the temple of Jagannath in Puri in the east coast of India. Well, that temple, it turns out, was not actually built until the 11th century. So that's a problem. Also, in terms of names, you see the names in the text Isa and Musa, Jesus and Moses, which are supposedly been altered a little bit through the process of translation. But then you have the name Pilate, just end of story. So that name is somehow stayed the same. And also there's just the whole, general plausibility of what's going on in this text. Here you've got these, Jewish merchants that claim to know what happened. You got these Jewish merchants that come to India reporting what happened after Jesus' crucifixion, but somehow then they must have come across the very same people that knew Jesus as a youth to kind of get this whole story together. So the odds of that happening are just almost, it's almost astronomically impossible given how many people live in India. And also just the whole story is a little too perfect. Where the Gospels leave off is with Jesus at, age 12. And he starts his ministry at age 30. And so basically what the life of Isa does is it fills in exactly that gap. The story in some ways is just a little too perfect.